September 2025 in Beijing. For the first time, China showcased a complete nuclear arsenal, the Triad. It was a public display of power launched from land, sea, and air. Since the first tests in 1964, Chinese leaders prioritized a minimal force. From Mao Zedong through the early 2000s, the stockpile remained under 300 warheads, a fraction of the US or Russian arsenals. Under Xi Jinping, that restraint was abandoned. He elevated the missile force to a full military service and initiated a breakout that has already doubled the warhead count to over 600. This rapid expansion provides a specific engineered tool for a looming geopolitical showdown. Xi Jinping's ultimate goal is the seizure of Taiwan. To achieve it, he must solve a single problem: how to prevent the United States military from intervening in the conflict. In February 2022, Vladimir Putin implicitly threatened to use nuclear weapons to keep US and NATO troops out of Ukraine. The threat worked, setting clear limits on how far the West would go to support Kyiv. Analysts have tracked this shift in Beijing, noting that internal policy memos began calling for a massive buildup to compel rivals to soften their policies. The goal is to gain a free hand for regional military action. China is building a massive nuclear shield, specifically designed to terrify Washington out of defending Taiwan. For this shield to work, it must be survivable. This means the arsenal must be large enough to endure a preemptive US strike and still have enough weapons left to fire back. To achieve this, China turned to massive infrastructure. Satellite researchers identified fields of over 300 silos under construction in the remote western deserts. These fields are designed for heavyweights like the DF-5C, a massive silo-based missile thought to carry up to 10 nuclear warheads in its nose cone. These numbers guarantee mutually assured destruction, forcing US leaders to weigh the defense of Taiwan against the potential annihilation of the American homeland. China's Navy is boxed in by the first island chain. This string of US allied territories is rigged with listening devices, making every exit a potential trap. This confinement makes traditional submarines easy to track and sink. To bypass this, Beijing developed the JL-3 submarine-launched missile. Its significantly longer range allows submarines to hide in the deep, protected waters of the South China Sea and still reach the US West Coast. By engineering a way out of this geography trap, Beijing has secured a sea-based deterrent that is nearly impossible to neutralize. While the big missiles protect the Chinese mainland, Beijing also needs to paralyze US military bases closer to Taiwan. This is the role of the DF-26. It's an intermediate-range missile designed to bridge the gap between regional skirmishes and all-out intercontinental war. Known as the Guam killer, its 4,000-kilometer range puts America's most critical staging grounds in the Western Pacific directly in the crosshairs. China is pairing these ranges with hypersonic glide vehicles. These weapons maneuver at extreme speeds to dodge and bypass current US missile defenses. This regional missile web is designed to deter the US from using its local bases, effectively cutting Taiwan off from military backup. Officially, China maintains a no-first-use policy, a promise that it would only use nuclear weapons if it were attacked with them first. But the hardware tells a different story. The DF-26 is dual-capable, meaning it can be quickly swapped between conventional explosives and nuclear warheads. This creates a dangerous uncertainty. In a conflict, a commander tracking an incoming DF-26 has no way of knowing if it's a standard bomb or a nuclear strike until it lands. These ambiguous weapons force adversaries to assume the worst, making the historical promise of no first use increasingly irrelevant on the battlefield. To protect its silos, China is adopting a launch-under-attack posture. This is powered by new early warning systems designed to detect incoming missiles thousands of kilometers away. A misinterpreted radar warning could trigger a retaliatory launch before the unverified strike hits. Beijing is also preparing for limited nuclear war, considering a single nuclear weapon against a military target, like an aircraft carrier, to force surrender without triggering a global exchange. Xi Jinping has spent a decade building a hair-trigger machine. He is now equipped to risk and potentially fight